Hello all, welcome back to Nomam YouTube channel. Today we'll see how to manage Azure resources using Azure PowerShell. This is part of the AZ104 lab series. So let's get started. As usual, I have opened documentation in one window. So this is a lab 3C. So in this we'll have two tasks. So first we need to start PowerShell using Cloud Shell, and then we'll create a resource group, and then we'll create a disk using Azure PowerShell, and finally we'll configure the options from the Azure PowerShell itself. Right, this is the architecture diagram. So in another window I have logged into my Azure portal, okay, and I have opened the Cloud Shell PowerShell as well. So if you want to use it in the same window, you can click this Cloud Shell option. Here you can select PowerShell, or else like how I'm doing, so you can do that. So shell dot, you can simply visit shell.azure.com and it will redirect to the same place, right? So this is easier to see and all, so that's why I'm using shell.azure.com. You can feel free to use the same page however you like, right? So with that I'll close this window, okay, and we'll go through the lab. Okay, so first we have created the shell, that is the first step. So if you are using shell for the first time, it will ask you to create a storage, and then you can select the PowerShell like I did, right? Then now we'll see. So this is the command to create a resource group. So with name AZ104 3C RG1, and we are getting the location from our previous lab, in the lab 3B. So where the resource group is sitting, the same location we want. So that is what we are fetching in this step, and then by making use of this location from the first step, we are creating a resource group with 3C RG1 name. So this is the actual create command. So I'll copy this, okay, and I'll paste it here. So in my case it might be there, yes. So I created already, so that's where it is asking to update. But now we see AZ104 3CRC1 is succeeded. So where can I see this? So I'll go to resource group. Here I got the resource group 3C. So in that nothing is there, right? Again we'll go back to documentation, and if you want to check the resource group directly from the shell itself, you can execute this command, get as a resource group and then resource group name. So that we already got. All right, next, now what we are doing, we are creating a managed disk using the PowerShell. So this is the command for that. So first what you are doing, we are assigning the configuration to disk config variable. So a location, and then option, and what is the disk size, and what kind of SKU it is, so everything, and then we are providing a disk name AZ104 3C disk 1. So this is the actual command. So these configuration we stored in these two variables, disk config and disk name, okay, and using that we are creating the resource. So I'll copy this, I'll clear the shell once, and I'll paste the command here. So if I click on enter, it will create a disk with this name AZ104 3C RG1. Okay, now it is executed successfully. What will be the next step? So we'll see these details from the PowerShell itself. How can I do that? I got this command and paste it here. See, these are the details we got, like what are the name, subscription, right, and all other details. Okay, so this is one thing, and the same thing you can observe from the portal itself. Like if I go here, initially now there are no disk. If I click on refresh, so that disk will be created, that you can see here, which is of 32 gigs of storage. 32 gigs. Now what I am trying to do is, so by default it came with, I mean on the previous configuration we told disk size is 32 gigs. Now I wanted to upgrade that storage to 64 gigs. How can I do that? By executing this command. What is that? So we are just new Azure disk update config. We are updating this config, and what we are doing, disk size we are changing it to 64 GB, and then the same resource group name, the same disk name we are providing. That's it, right? I execute this command, so it has to update my storage to 64 gigs from 32, right? So you can see disk size 64 GB. Okay, if you want to verify the same executing another command, you can do that, so by using this particular command, right? The same 64 gigs. Okay, and now if you wanted to verify the SKU, so what SKU we are using here? So standard LRS, right? To verify that, you need to execute this command in the PowerShell. Get Azure disk and then resource group and then disk name. So currently it is in standard LRS. What if I wanted to update it from standard LRS to some premium, right? So that also we can do here. So that is what this particular step 4 is trying to do, right? So what I'll do, I'll paste it here. So I'm updating disk. SKU is premium. Previously it was standard LRS, and then I provided resource group name and disk name. That's it. When I execute this, it will upgrade it to premium. How can I do check that? So again, if you execute the previous command, right, now premium LRS, previously it is standard LRS. So that way you can create and manage resources in using PowerShell. There are a lot you can try it out, but this is the beginning. And again, do not delete any resources until we complete the last lab. So this is Manage Azure Resources by using Azure CLI. So we'll see you in the next. Thank you for watching this.